Good afternoon. I'm currently enjoying the few hours out of my first day in London, which is a city I love. The initial impression I get from London is when I get out of the airport and saw the thick and wide castles of clouds floating in the clear blue sky. And what connects the castles is a silk road, which is made up by the breath taken by God Himself. The view was so grand that I could have watched it for a whole day. It reminded me of my experience of going to the rural places in China where my grandparents, who are farmers, lived long enough to deduce the weather according to the forms of the clouds. Well, we're not the only people who adore clouds. In Scotland, Gavin, a person who founded the Appreciation Society of Clouds. People gather together to watch the cascading water drops and crystals floating in an atmosphere, shifting picture to picture. Looking at the sky is not a waste of time. It is giving yourself a moment of tranquility to calm down and see the beauty that lies right on top of your head, to feel the inspirations, to feel the freedom to imagine, which we do not do in the contemporary world very much. Despite staring at clouds, David Barron, a college physics professor, went to Aruba in 1998 to view the full version of solar eclipse which changed his life. When the sun was blocked by the moon, an alien world stunningly struck him down. The planets orbiting the sun could be seen in a mild corona in the dark shade which is the sun. People watching the solar eclipse cheered in unison and as if they were looking at creation itself. They saw something bigger. They saw something permanent. They saw something that erases the temporariness of life, something that dispels division, and something that leaves long-lasting awe. Nature not only gives us pleasure individually, but also stimulates the true and authentic conversation between people, just like on the beach. Just as when a couple watches fireflies fly in the woods, romance breeze. Just as when kids watch the waves chasing each other on the seas, joy thrives, and just as when an elderly person watches the sun setting at dusk, comfort comes. Nature can give us the most important thing in humanity, empathy. In time of peace, no one has to say a word, because the bridge is already constructed. Nature is like a friend, everyone beside us. They took our hands and said, let's go and see the epic scenes I have found. They invite us to sit down generously and exchange our demands. When humans, monster machines, skyscrapers, and chemical plants invaded the land, chopped down the woods, marched into the rivers and lakes, nature is there to tell us, please stop. That's why we have sustainable development plans to exchange ideas, to tell each other what we need. That's why the communication with nature is so important, both in mental and practical aspects. However, ladies and gentlemen, communication is never easy. It is based on mutual understanding and trust. So only when we obey the grammar rules of the language we're using, only when we respect the manners of speaking while we're having with nature, can that dialogue between us and Mother Earth last long and harmonious. The last point I want to make here is that we as humans, as unique as we are, although we're at the top of the food chain, we're still part of nature. And it is that feeling of belonging that constantly reminds us of where we're from, who we are, and the path to future. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your speech. And we have some questions. I'll come back to you if nobody else wants, because you've had one. Anybody else? Okay, I'll come back to you.
Yeah, Mihai from Romania. I wanted to ask you, how many times do you think a Syrian caught in a civil war appreciates nature, as you said?
Thank you very much. In Syrian civil war, there are always times of conflict where there are bombs throwing at civilians and buildings while there are also aftermath. There are times of beauty, actually, when the fire stopped and people took to the streets and find things they need. And in that yellow and brown picture, in that dark scene in which fume rises and fire burns, I believe there's always scenes of life, maybe a small grass, maybe a tree still standing to remind them that this is their home. The first point I'll make here is that every land has their own beauty. It's not that mysterious, it's not that grand. Maybe it's just soil below their feet. While they're walking on that land, it is that feeling that reminds them of the presence of their homeland. And I believe, as to your question, my answer is many times, because it's a matter of whether they're willing to see and find. Thank you.
Another question, please.
Nature is sending us a lot of messages at the moment. Species extinction, environmental pollution, many other things. Are we listening to that, or are we focused on what little remains of nature's beauty?
I'm sorry, can you repeat your question?
Nature is sending us many messages at the moment.
Yes.
Species extinction, the impact of pollution, many other messages. Are we focused enough on that, or are we still focused on what little remains of nature's beauty?
Thank you very much. I believe it's a matter of feedback, and we're constantly trying to do better. When we speak to nature, it actually talks back to us. For example, while we build a plant, there's always United Nations departments who tell us, using statistics to tell us how much species have all gone, and we have monuments for them. I believe we have done very good, but not enough. The awareness has not rooted to everyone's hearts, and we need to do better. That's why it reminds me to constantly look for the beauty. Because if something is beautiful and you pay attention to it, can you know how important it is to preserve it? When you say, oh my God, do you know what you're saying? The O means that you're inspired and feel awesome. The my means that it connects with yourself. And God, what does God mean? It means you're on a journey in which you're connected to something greater, to a universe that celebrates life. So I believe when you see a spectacle in nature, when you say, oh my God, you're there. You already know that it's beauty and you should preserve it.